If you're like many of our home sellers, in fact, most of our home sellers, you probably have this one crucial question on your mind, which is how do we get from our current house to the next house, the house we want to buy? Hi folks, my name's Armand, realtor with Team Armand EXP Realty. If you're interested in this question, please stick and stay for this video. I'm going to answer this question for you. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our video to be the first to receive news about what's going on here in our local market. Okay folks, how do we get you from your current home to the next home that you're going to buy, even when you have not even identified the house that you'd like to buy? Okay, well, let's start with step number one. Step number one is to examine, can you even buy the new house without having first sold and closed to get your money out of the old house? Can you buy the new house without first selling the old house? This is a crucial question. And we're not asking the question, do you want to sell the old house before buying the new house? The question is, can you sell the old house before buying the new house? If the answer is yes, you are able to buy your next home without first selling your old house, then probably you have 4 different options that you're looking at. Of course, the first option is you've got cash. So you're going to buy your next house with cash. That's pretty easy to do if in fact you've got the cash. Many people, if not most people, don't really have the cash to do that. So they're probably going to go to option number 2, which is to take a home equity line of credit out on your old house, which provides you the cash for at least the down payment on the new house. Now, keep in mind that the banks will only loan you a certain amount of money compared to how much equity is in your house, how much your house is worth, usually about up to 80% of what your house is worth. So you need to know how much money you actually own on your house and then how much is left between that number and the 80% mark of the value of your current house. The banks will usually give you a home equity line of credit for that amount of money. The third option is to take what we call, just to do a cash out refinance, is where you take the current mortgage on your current house and go ahead and basically extend and expand that mortgage into one big, huge loan. It'll probably go up to 80, well, it may go well past 80%. You need to talk to a good local lender about how much of a cash out refinance you can do on your current home. By the way, it's really important to use a good local lender. So we strongly advise against using one of the online lenders, not to name any names, but like, kind of the rocket ship lender. I wouldn't use them or anybody else like that. The local lenders are the ones that we know them. We know where their offices are. We can always march into their office and say, hey, what's going on with this loan? Why can't you close it? The online lenders, there's nobody to talk to. There's no accountability there. In any case, talk to a good local lender about your ability to get a cash out refinance on your current home to bring you the cash with which to purchase your next house. The fourth option in this scenario can just be called doing some sort of a bridge loan. There are actually a number of other loan products out there that you can probably do other than the home equity line of credit and the cash out refinance, but each one of those is a little bit more esoteric, and you really want to talk to a good local lender about what that quote-unquote bridge loan is. Bridge loan itself is not a specific lending term. It's just a catch-all phrase to account for all these different loan products that lenders have. Now, if it turns out you've talked to your favorite local lender and you're not able to do a home equity line of credit, or you don't have the cash, can't do a cash out refinance, you cannot buy the new house without first having sold the old house, then what do we do? Well, there's 2 main options for you. Number 1 is to try to buy the new house with a contingent sale attached to that offer on the new house, to make the sale and closing of the new house contingent upon selling and closing the old house. Now I got to tell you, that puts you as a home buyer in a not a great negotiating position. We really try to avoid doing that if at all possible. The only time that really works is if we're in a really strong buyer's market, which we're not at this time, at the time that this video was recorded. So we really try to avoid contingent sales that are contingent upon closing the old house. If we have to, we will do it, and we will go to bat for you. We will negotiate like crazy to get you that deal if that's what we got to do. But we try to avoid contingent sales if at all possible. The second way, honestly speaking, is to go ahead and move out of your old house and go into a rental, and then fix up the old house, get it on the market, get it sold, get your money, get your cash out of the old house, and then really bear down and look for a new house, purchase your new house, basically with cash. That, in fact, puts you in a much better financial position in terms of negotiating on the new house. Of course, the problem there is you've got the expenses of having moved out of your old house, gone into a rental, you're paying for rent, which is, as always, is just throwing away your money, right? And then, of course, you've got to move again out of the rental into your new house. You may also have some storage costs, where if not all of your possessions can go into your rental, you've got storage costs. So it's really important to check, to look ahead and see how much your rental costs will be when you're doing that kind of deal. Okay, what about the scenario that I talked about before, where you can actually buy your new house without having first sold the old house? But in fact, you really don't want to do that. That's your choice. You don't have to do that, of course. In that scenario, then of course you're going to be thinking about going ahead and moving out of your old house, putting it on the market and selling it, and then bringing that money to the new house. Now, one thing to consider is all the expenses that are incurred with moving out, paying for rental, which is once again throwing away money, and then moving back into the new house, as opposed to taking out that bridge loan or that home equity line of credit or the cash out refinance. All those things cost money, of course, but so does a rental. So does moving twice instead of once. So really, I would strongly encourage you to take a look at the expenses of both of those scenarios and see which one you prefer. Finally, there's one more scenario that all home sellers should take a look at, whether you can buy the new house with or without first having sold the old house. And that is to coordinate selling the old house with buying the new house. Literally doing a double closing on the same day, where you're closing the old house, taking the money from the old house and putting that into the new house. Well, to be honest with you, that's quite difficult to do. We can and have done it a number of times in the past. A lot of it depends on market forces. When a market is out of balance, whether it's a strong seller's market or a strong buyer's market, it's very difficult to try to get that kind of an arrangement happen where they coordinate both sales at the same time. If we're in a sort of a much more balanced market, it's a little bit easier to do that. But frankly, in all scenarios, it is difficult to coordinate selling the old house and getting that to close on the same day that you're buying your new house. It can be done, but it's difficult to arrange. Folks, there's lots of different ways to skin this cat, and really every situation is different. Every home seller and home buyer has their own scenario, their own things that are important to them. And me, as a realtor, my team, our job is to listen to our sellers and our buyers to find out what's really important to them. We always ask question upon question to really find out what our buyers and our sellers really need, and then try to deliver what it is they need. If you need more information about that, my full contact information is below. Whether you're looking to purchase a home in the next 9 days or 9 months, please contact us. My team and I are ready to help you at any time. Thanks a lot for your time. I really appreciate it. See you next time.